just to show you how much we live in the present and in the moment. You know, last week when I wished you Happy Thanksgiving, you know, I didn't know if we'd ever get back together again. You know, so you know, now that we're here, I guess it's a little more. I guess you could understand it. So Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. There's no excuse for that other than to say that. Going back to work feels good to us. These guys are fired up to be back. They feel good. They feel strong. I mean, just in the walkthrough, they're bouncing all over the place. The schedule that we have this week will allow us to be fresh all the way to Sunday. By the way, we're doing it and celebrating the holiday too. So they're anxious to get back at it and really test. This is like starting the second half, and so feels like that natural break at the bye, and we're going to try to maximize that by coming out and playing a really good game this week, and it's all we got. So focus is right on the Raiders. They had a big win last week. They have a lot of firepower, and I know it's been frustrating for them this season, but they've got all kinds of weapons, and they got stuff that they can do, and we got to be ready. So we're going to try to put together a great Wednesday on Tuesday, and because we're in that time warp, and then we'll put together a great week, hopefully.
When you go back and you do the self-scout over last week, what were you most pleased with on both sides of the ball up to this point?
You're talking about the entire time, not just last week's game?
Yes. Yeah, just kind of that self-scout for the season.
Yeah, no, we've made a big turn, you know, and when you take, you know, a couple of four games, you know, plus the fifth game, you know, in the last 5 or 6 weeks, we've really turned our football team in a positive direction. That doesn't mean anything, you know, because we got to go out and do it again this week. But we can see it on offense, we can see it on defense. It was frustrating to not get a win last week, and you know, to be in position to finish with a huge game too. You know, out there would have been a wonderful, you know, acquiring that opportunity. We didn't do it, but other than that, we're getting better, and we have a lot of room to improve, and we can see it. So it's a very fresh mentality. Excited about getting back. Feeling good and all that, you know, we're trying to take advantage of where we have come to in these last month or so.
When you take a look at the Raiders, Max Crosby is a pretty impressive guy. He leads the league in tackles for loss. What is it about his skill set that makes him such a dominant player?
He's got a great motor. He is a guy that just never stops, and he plays a lot of plays too. He doesn't, you know, he won't sub out. So he's taking full advantage of it. But, man, he is always going. Run and pass, action, Adam, action away. He's just playing great football. And he's making big plays. Even last week, even in a kicking game, you know, he comes up and blocks the field goal too. So he's just on fire, and he's playing as good as anybody we faced.
How did you assess your running game against Tampa Bay, and then kind of how do you feel like, I guess, where that is right now?
It was a very short assessment. Kind of briefly, it was just we didn't get going, and I mean, there's some stuff I really don't want to comment on, but we didn't do well in the first half, but you know, to really tell you about it, it's if we fail that much on third down, you don't get the chances to develop the game plan, and we didn't get it. We've been in that situation where we've talked like that before. You know, I don't think we converted in the first half, or we haven't won if we had any, and so we never got rolling. And so the game became a different game for us, you know, different than we generally would play, and but we got to get back to the running game. We got to get it going.
You mentioned the guys out there bouncing around. Is there, after a break, is there any concern, or do you have to do anything different just to make sure you kind of pick back up where you wanted to?
Yeah. Yesterday we ran the guys and worked them out in preparation for today. You know, and today we talked specifically about, you know, easing our way into the tempo, and so we're taking a little extra time in the individual, and the coaches are all aware of it, and the players have been warned a couple times. Let's not try to do too much too fast, too soon, and get ready. And we got a good week here that we can ramp it up. But there's always a little bit of concern coming off the week. We asked our guys to be real active over the week, and you know, to make sure that they stayed, you know, after. But we still need to be careful today.
Is this the way you did Thanksgiving with the Jets and the Patriots?
God, I don't know.
I don't think you did this in early Seattle, did you? Take Thursday off and practice?
No, I think this is something that we figured out along the way, and it helped us this time around for sure, coming off the break, you know, and all that. This is a really good way to do it if you can, because for our guys coming off the bye to get another day on Thursday after 2 good solid days of work is really a nice format. So, but we haven't always done that, and I don't think we did it back then.
What convinced you to do it this way, or what made you change it?
Good suggestions, good input from the guys around me. Matt Capurro, just assessing how we've done things over the years. We keep track of everything we've ever done, and this is just a format that we've liked.
5-7 at home to close the season. It seems like I've heard players talk about kind of the energy and the noise and everything just sort of being at a different level this year. Have you noticed with the fans this year?
Yeah, starting with the opener. The opener was I think kicked us into like full go, and fortunately we got the win and all that. We're counting on everybody feeding. We got to feed them, they got to feed us, and the 12s have been incredible, and even when we've been on the road. And I hope that there's a lot of energy for this finish, because we certainly have it here in the building.
How much do you think the bye at this point can be a boost for the rookie class? I mean, they've been going kind of nonstop since the draft process and everything to get it at this point and kind of reset.
Yeah, I do think hopefully we can make it into that. We've talked that way with them. Just stepping away from it can give you a chance to see things a little bit differently, a little more clearly, and I'm hoping that that's what takes place right now. But it's for them. I think it's really a convenient opportunity for them to just physically too, just because we've been pushing. Particularly, I keep thinking of the tackles because they played every snap, and so we'll try to take advantage of this, and we got no excuses. This should work for us.
I know they're rookies, but would you consider to ease the sort of physical toll on them, dialing back their practice late in the season?
No, not really. No, I don't think. No, we're taking care of our guys. This has been a really profitable year so to this point of managing the tempo and stuff like that, and we got to keep it going. They're okay. They're ready to go. I mean, if you could see them bouncing around now physically, these guys are all ready to go at it again. So I think we're in good shape.
Do you want to try to get Trey Brown on the field this week if you can?
We're looking at him again this week, to see how he competes and all that, and how he does. Yes. Yeah, the answer is yes to that. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but he's competing to show that he's ready to go. So he had a good week last week, and from this point forward, he's physically and he's adapted back in, so he could go.
Do you still like him on the left side, or could he do either?
Just because that's where he spent most of his time. Yeah, I don't want to do a lot of change-ups with him. Right now, I'd rather have him go where he's most comfortable. He's fine about playing on the other side, he says, but right now he's going to play on the left side for a while. See how it goes.
What kind of a challenge is obviously Davante Adams, particularly for some of your young guys?
I mean, every challenge that a guy could bring you. I mean, he's an incredible player. He's so gifted and such a great competitor that he seizes the moments all the time. The catches, the opportunities, the big plays. I mean, just look what he did, like last week, and it was just classic. And an incredible route that he ran and a concept to get open. But he just came through again, And you can see why if he's on your team and then he leaves, you're going to have a space, that's hard to fill. Because I think they've targeted him 40-something times in the last 3 weeks, and so he's deserving and capable, and whether he can tell you I'm running the route almost, and it can still be effective. So he's a great player. He's the top guy we've seen.
Raiders are one of the teams that use a fullback more regularly than any other team. What does that do for their offense?
Well, it gives them a style. Jacob Johnson's the guy, and he gives them a style that is reminiscent of two-back offense. We don't see much two-back offense these days, and so they have those plays that come with a lead blocker and a kick-out blocker and a wham blocker. I mean, they've got it all, and he's got the right makeup mentality and all of that. So it just takes us back somewhat. We just don't see much of that.
Why don't we see that much? Is it because of the way offenses are schemed up, or what defenses can do?
There's a couple of reasons, I think. One of them is that offenses, coaches in general, are more attracted to spreading the field than drawing the field in to some degree. There's still offenses that still use a lot of short splits and things like that, but using the field more so is part of it. And then there aren't very many of them. We'll go through the draft, and they're not being raised in the college game at all. So you're always having to transition guys, and so it's a little bit harder to figure out who is the guy that can do that. There'll be maybe 2 or 3 guys in the draft out of the entire draft class that will be fullbacks, that are legit and can show you that they can do that. So it's a little bit of a, it's a little bit harder to find these guys. So, but that's still a great offense. It's still a great concept. And there's all kinds of run and pass. It doesn't make you just a run team, and you can do all kinds of stuff. The Niners have been doing it for years.
Derek Carr, obviously big quarterback. He's been around for a minute. The challenges he presents for your defense.
Derek? Yeah, he can throw everything. He really can throw everything. He's had prolific years, one right after another. He's the real deal. All the downfield stuff, all the quick stuff, on the move. He's in the pocket, out of the pocket. It doesn't matter for him. Really accurate thrower, and he moves well too. When he takes off, he's got enough jets there that he can make some yards and hurt you when he scrambles. So. But you can see him with the big-time players that he throws to, that they can make things happen. And it doesn't have to be wide open. He can put the ball in really tight places and make plays. So you don't really ever have him. He can finish games and plays in a big-time way. And so he poses a big problem.
Ryan Neal's obviously stepped up and played well the last couple of years when Jamal's been hurt, but it seems like he's doing even more this year. Does this defense suit him even better, or is he just playing better?
Yeah, it does. And really are leaning towards some more stuff that we've done with the safeties in the safety position part of Jamal being part of the thing, the program and all that. Has just opened up more opportunities. And you remember back when we first went with Ryan, it was a couple of years ago maybe, at the dime position, and we picked things up. We got a little bit better, and he helped us. Well, now that's just regular stuff for him to play. So he's playing nickel and dime and base, and he can do a little bit of everything now. So versatility, his confidence, and just growing with experience. He's a good football player.
Is there anybody that's on injured reserve like Darryl or Alton Robinson or Isaiah Dunn or any of those guys that might be back anytime soon?
Well, Johnny Radigan's coming back today. He'll be back out practicing. We're really fired up that he's made it through his recovery and all that. So this is his first day back, so we're kind of celebrating that first of all. But there's a couple guys. There's possibilities, but nothing on the early, quick horizon here. I don't know how to say that. Help me out.
What about
Near future.
Radigan? What about Radigan had you keep him after last year? I mean, you could have just.
Oh, he's a really good football player. He's just a good all-around ball player. It might be his upbringing. I don't know. I'm sure that's why you asked. But he's instinctive. He's tough. He's a smart player. We've missed him in the depth, at the linebacker spot, but really he's made his mark in special teams, and we're really hoping to get him back out there.
Hey, speaking of fullbacks, is there anything you wouldn't trust Nick Bellore to do with this team?
No, Nick, he goes both ways. He can do it. He can. He's one of the last of the two-way performers. He's really a smart football guy. Things make sense to him, and so he doesn't need a lot of turns to execute. And so we use him in some crucial situations, and he can. Let's just say Nick can do it all. Leave it at that.
Anything else?
Okay.